Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel. So that being said, if the message does happen to resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, and triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing today, and I'm honored to be here sharing it with you. So we are doing the tandem reading. I always bring these two out together, and that is why are women secretly attracted to you, and that's just so that everybody gets to watch these readings. I get highly requested for both of them, and I have mentioned on prior ones that anytime you see one come out, the other one will come out the next pick a card reading, so within a few days of one another. So if you ever see one and you catch it right when I post it, and you're looking for the other one, so like why men are secretly attracted to you, that one came out 2 days before this one. Okay, so just keep an eye out because they will come out in tandem with each other anytime I post them on my channel. All right, so let's open with our prayer and let's get into this today. All right, I got a late start today. Kind of feels like that's the energy. Just kind of a lazy, relaxed day. All right, my beloved source, this prayer's for anyone and everyone that comes onto this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. This month of love, it can be overwhelming. It can even be underwhelming. We might hold certain expectations of what it should or shouldn't be. We want people to say things to us that make us feel good. We want to be received in love. We don't want to be alone at this time, and yet many of us might be, knowing that there's nothing wrong with being alone. That is and has been a part of the journey for many, 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 many generations. And that simply because we don't have someone to share it with right now doesn't mean that we won't ever have someone to share it with. And equally so, it also means that we're not alone. We're not walking this path alone. There are many people who are walking it right alongside us that we have never met or that we may never meet, but we're not alone. We have our team, our spiritual team. We have you. We have our ancestors. We have our guides. Our angels that walk beside us, carrying us in times of trouble and times of strife. But it doesn't always necessarily take away that feeling of emptiness. And today I ask that you open our hearts and remind us that we're not empty at all. That we've chosen to believe at some point, or we've been convinced of at some point, of a paradigm, of an idea that was never ours to hold in the first place. Because right now, in this moment, we are the embodiment of love. We are love itself, and love is us. We are not separate from it. Just because we don't have a person stand in that label or that title doesn't mean it is something that doesn't exist within us already. So today I ask that you give us the courage that we may look within and embrace that love internally so that we can already feel like the complete being that we already are. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. I'll say thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right, let me get that set up over there. Now, usually I pick one of my animal decks to choose from for these readings, but specifically for this reading, I was drawn to the Self-Love Oracle by Akal Prittam. And I was like, that's a great deck to do for this reading when Source was talking to me about it before getting started. So we're going to be using this Oracle deck today. It's really connected to the chakras and self-love practices, but I feel like it's going to give us a really good idea in regards to your reading today. So let's go ahead and shuffle. And I decided to choose these pens. I recently got, I think it was like 22 different colors. And they write in the colors too. I love these pens. They're nice and handy to have around whenever you're doing things. So I was really drawn to using them on this reading today. It's nice to have some differences, some different choices. And also for those of you, and I'll say this again when we pick from the dice, there is a zodiac dice here, so it doesn't mean that that's just for that zodiac, okay? All right, why are women secretly attracted to you? Why are women secretly attracted to you? Okay, thank you, Source. Why are women secretly attracted to you? Many of you are very intuitive, very connected, and that's something that's very attractive. Pile number 1, why are women secretly attracted to you? All right, thank you. All right, pile number 2, why are women secretly attracted to you? Whoa, thank you, Source. Interesting. That's interesting. All right, we're going to talk about it. Pile number 3, why are women secretly attracted to you? Why are women secretly attracted to you? Pile number 3. Ooh, pile number 3, a little hesitant to know. Pile number 3, why are women secretly attracted to you? There it is. Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad we got all 3 different colors. I never know. All right. On the bottom of the deck, we have elevate with support. Okay, this is actually really beautiful energy. Why women are secretly attracted to you as a collective message is because you're very supportive and you offer support in ways that they didn't necessarily know that they needed. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's very invasive, right? Like, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna help you pack up your house and we're gonna do all this. Like, you could offer emotional support or a listening ear, just in this energy of being there for them. It's a very soft energy. This is giving me very soft energy. And it's like you walk from your heart space and, you know, especially, and again, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, non-binary, trans, any of that, none of that matters here. But I do want to specifically talk to my men, you know, especially for men, because men to walk from their heart space is a very rare thing. And, you know, and even if you're not a man, like just that, like you're very open from your heart space, very connected from this place of the heart. And this is a throat chakra card. So you're speaking freely from this place of love and this place of higher vibrations and helping them make decisions in their lives with that direction from source. So it's like if somebody, like if a woman's coming to you for advice, she's coming to you because she knows that you're going to observe the whole of the situation and not just base it on an opinion. You're going to be basing it on taking all of it in stride. And what does that mean? And how is that going to impact her? And how is that going to impact the situation itself? And that support is something that actually, what a lot of people don't realize, it's that very support is what gets a woman to follow a man's lead. Okay, and again, gender doesn't matter. It's just that idea. That is what gets the feminine to follow the masculine's lead, is by giving that strong support system that oftentimes falls short in many relationships or in many connections because it's not stable or it's not grounded or it's coming from a very, just a very low vibration, like, you know, whether that is to get, you know, approval from her or if that is to impress her. Like there's something else in regards to it rather than just saying like, wow, she really needs this help. And if I can show up to the best of my ability and give her my sage advice, and how that's going to be the thing that helps her most rather than trying to gain something from her. Like you're putting her first. And that is such a powerful thing. And you're not The other thing is that you're not doing it at the cost of yourself either. You're still maintaining your self-respect and your dignity and your integrity in the situation. And that is why women are secretly attracted to you, because that's not a very common trait to have. And even if you are a woman or non-binary, like, that trait itself is very rare among people. Like, to be able to put someone first, but not at the cost of self. And most people get into this constant cycle of people pleasing, that you're not there trying to please her. You're trying to really give her assistance on her journey. So let's see what this card says. Is this a wild card? This is number 35. Okay, yeah, it's actually a wild card. Okay. So it's not even the throat chakra. I thought it was the throat chakra card, but it's actually one of the wild cards from the back of the deck. Yeah. It says supporting creativity in the divine mother. Yeah, it's a very soft energy, right? It says, where is mother in your heart? Who is your mother? What does she teach you, and how does she love you? So this feels like, from the masculine standpoint, this is healing of the mother wound. No longer blaming the mother, being resentful of the mother, or projecting the mother wound out onto others, but rather coming from a center, grounded, healed inner mother wound. And that's powerful. Your birth mother is meant to be the giver in your relationship, parent to child. This never changes. You may find yourself in a dynamic where you are the giver to your mother, you are the parent, and she is the child. You may have a strong aura and most often be the giver in your relationships. Allowing your own mother to be the giver may be a challenge for many reasons. Even a mother who needs her child to care for her can give more in return in wisdom and by example through grace and gratitude. At this time of tremendous change, all relationships are being asked to align more with the natural universal law. How can you facilitate this? By owning your true role. Something needs to shift, release, and flow in your relationship with mother. This energy mustn't become stagnant. If you have any problem with your birth mother, this is the opportunity to see it is you who has the power to choose how to relate. This is your opportunity to surrender to the natural laws of the universe and allow mother, your mother, and the Mama Earth and divine universal mother to give to you. Observe your boundaries, your ability to flow and release with love and gratitude and your own independent identity. And that's what I'm saying, like, you don't lose yourself in your act of giving. And that's something that women find highly attractive. The mother births you, but it is you who must carry yourself over the threshold with your own grace. It is you who gets to review, reestablish, recommit, reconnect, remake, and rebirth, continually to become your true self. You can keep going. Know you are loved by your mother with her signature style. You are also loved by Mama Earth, or Pachamama, and the divine universal mother. You are made of love. Let it flow and pass it on. And the thing is here, it's to let go of the past and create something new. You are the gatekeeper of your new memories. Yeah, so I feel like unknowingly, you're actually helping women heal the mother wound because you're coming from a state of walking with the healed mother wound, right? And that's a very powerful, powerful place to be at. All right, so let me get this set up really quickly. This is interesting that this worked out. I love when things like this happen, especially when I get to catch them on camera, because it's like telling me I did what Source said, because they happen so often. And I love that. Okay. All right. So really quickly, I do have a zodiac dice here. The zodiac dice is not necessarily for Pisces in this instance. It was just something I grabbed and I rolled. And so it's just an option to choose from. Really, I do want to talk about how funny is it that the first two cards that came out were opposite the pen colors that I chose. And I was so drawn to green and orange. It was actually the third one that I had the hardest time choosing because I was like, I don't know. And so I ended up settling on the blue one. Like I said, it's like 22 colors in this pen set. And so the funny thing is that these are the first two that I was so drawn to. And then we got sacral chakra and heart chakra, and they're very opposite of one another. And so I just want to mention these two might have messages if you're drawn to both. They'll definitely have most messages for both of you. Okay, so, all right. For pile number 1, we do have this dice with a 4th house on it for you to choose from. Or we have this green pen. Okay, pile number 2. We have this dice with Pisces on it for you to choose from. Or we have this orange pen. In pile number 3, we have this dice with the 9th house on it for you to choose from. Or we have this blue pen. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 4th house on it, or perhaps you were called to this green pen, or maybe you felt called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on why are women secretly attracted to you. We are all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. I do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the message does resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, and keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm honored to be here sharing it with you. Also, if you happen to click on this video and are wondering about the other side of this, why men are secretly attracted to you, that was posted just a few days prior to this one being posted. And moving forward, anytime one of these gets posted, I won't say which one's coming first all the time, it will change, but just know that they're always going to be tandem readings, so the other one will get posted shortly after, okay? So, pile 1. Why are women secretly attracted to you? Source, what can you share with us today? Pile 1. Why are women secretly attracted to you? Okay, ooh, yeah, we've got the 5th house. We've got Aries, and we've got Mercury. You are dateable for sure. I feel like you're very outgoing, and you also take the lead. Like, you're not afraid to take the lead in a relationship. You know, like set up the date, pick where you're going, or ask her what she really likes to do, and then, you know, get a couple of options and pick from there. But you're very much the initiator, right? Like, and not all the time. Like, I don't feel like you're always taking the lead, but like, she is in a place where she'll let you take the lead, you're going to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to bring flowers. I'm going to bring chocolates. I'm going to set us up at this really nice restaurant. I've gotten, reservations set, and I am going to do this. But then you also communicate that with them. And this is something that women are so attracted to you about. Like, you're always taking initiative. And if it's not about going on dates, right? It could just be in life. Like, you just take the initiative. You're always taking the lead, and they feel like they're very comfortable to follow your lead. And that is a very profound place to come from, especially if you're a man. It means that you're very grounded in your masculine energy. And even if you're a woman, you could be very grounded and comfortable in your masculine energy. And that's what you identify with more. And that's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, that's just a very grounded place to come from, especially for women who are in their feminine. Because they're looking for that person to lead them. They're looking for that one that's going to step up and say, hey, I'm going to make sure that this gets taken care of. I need your support along the way. And that's when a woman can come through and be like, I'll give you 100% of support no matter what. I'll always be there to back you up. And you take on that leadership role. Like, you're just not afraid to step into that. I also feel like what women secretly attracted to you is because when you like somebody, or when you admire somebody, you say that. Like, you tell them, like, wow, you're a really awesome person. I am so inspired by you. You are so amazing and inspirational and motivational. And you are not afraid to praise women, to give them compliments. And I don't know why this is coming up, but Hitch, the movie Hitch, I believe. And it's where he's like doing the secret. He's like trying to get people set up behind the scenes and stuff. And I think in there he told him, he's like, for men you ask questions, for women you give compliments. And I think it also came out in The Wedding Ringer, if I'm not mistaken. I think it came out in both of those movies, that same thing. And that's what you do. Like, you've leaned into that. You're always giving women compliments. You're always trying to lift them up. You're always trying to make them feel better about their day. And, also, if you haven't caught the collective message, you would probably resonate with a lot of the messages that came through in the collective message, which is timestamp down below if you feel called to. It's no obligation here, okay? So yeah, you're very honest as well. And I feel like you're very much walking in a state of integrity. Like, you're doing the right thing, even when people aren't looking. But when you're thinking people aren't looking, there's actually a lot of women who are looking. They're always watching you from afar. You might actually feel like there's a lot of eyes on you all the time, because it's like women are definitely keeping you in their line of sight. They're like, ooh, pile one. Like, I just feel very giddy right now. It's like, I feel like when you walk by, like, you definitely get a lot of giggles. You make people smile. You could definitely kind of clown around, but in a very, like, it's in a very honest and innocent way. And it's very cute, is what it feels like. Very cute. And I keep getting that picture where girls, like, cover their mouths and they're like, oh, like when their favorite crush walks by and they're like, oh my gosh, it's my crush. Like, oh, like, that's the type of energy that I'm getting. And so definitely very good looking. And you are someone that has so much love to give. And I feel like you're just giving love everywhere you go. You just want to lift people up. You want to make them feel good. Men and women alike, right? Like, you're not just lifting women up, but I feel like you're also there for your brothers too. You're like, hey man, it's okay. Like, you give them support. You're a very supportive person. I feel like that's what women find secretly attractive about you too, is just the support that you give. Why are women secretly attracted to you, pile one? Okay, thank you. Why are women secretly attracted to you? Yeah, you're also someone that can have anybody that they want. You might not feel like that, but that's how you're seen. Why are women secretly attracted to you, pile one? Yeah, look at that, the sun. You light up my life. Yeah, like, you're the bright light in their lives. Like, I feel like especially if this is like women from work or women that you see on a daily basis or talk to on a regular basis, like when you're not around because life happens, they're always looking for you because it just feels a little bit dull without you. It feels like they're missing that light. So you're this definitely just a bundle of joy. And they appreciate that so much. And this is why women are secretly attracted to you. Very independent, very grounded in your wealth. And your wealth doesn't have to be materialistic wealth, although it could be. You know, very well could be. I just feel like your wealth is knowledge and wisdom and spiritual soundness and healed mind and healed heart. And that's what women are secretly attracted to. You offer stability for them. Yeah, and you're helping them see things from a different type of way. Like, it's almost as if things that they would rather run away from, with the hangman here, things that they would rather turn and just, like, I don't want to face that part of myself. I'd just rather go and hide. And maybe they come and they share whatever's going on in their lives with you. And you offer them very sound advice in what it is that they're going through. You help them see it from a different perspective. And you also help them integrate the shadow. So you could be someone who does a lot of shadow work. You know, the one thing I've noticed on this journey for many people is the more shadow work you're comfortable doing, the brighter you shine as a light in the world, which seems like a conundrum, right? It's like counterintuitive, but that's how it works, because you're so good at integrating the hardships that you've gone through yourself. You're so good at healing yourself that just by being you, you're healing others. And I also feel like you receive a lot of guidance from source and from your angels. And you could have psychic abilities. You don't have to, but I do feel like with this 9 of coins that you might have psychic abilities or the gift of empathy. And you've learned how to walk away from trying to please everybody to really truly tuning into how you can connect with humanity on a deeper level without expectation, but also without sacrificing the self, without sacrificing your worth and your value. And so you give endlessly to everybody, but not so much so that you've worn yourself out or you've let people overstay their welcome. Like, I do get this sense that you're actually very comfortable with cutting people out when the time comes, but you also aren't somebody that does it in a way that's filled with resentment, with hurt, with pain, with anxiety. You just recognize that this isn't working for me anymore. And I need to walk away. I need to take myself somewhere else. And because of that, you knowing your value and your worth, that's why women are secretly attracted to you. And of course, we're going to get the Emperor on the bottom of the deck for your reading, pile 1. What the hey now? You are a boss. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of time, like a lot of energies coming in here, you give off this energy that you could absolutely take care of women. Like, if any of these women were your one true love, you are going to take care of them. You're going to make sure that they're provided for. You're going to make sure that they've got food on the table, roof over their head, and you're not going to complain about it. You're going to make sure that she has a safe home to come down to. And maybe you're married already, right? And wondering, like, why are all these women attracted to me when I'm a married man or when I'm a married woman? You know, like, why are all these women still, like, coming after me through all of this? And the reason being is because you maybe have talked about that. Like, you know, like, I work hard so that she can stay at home and she can take care of the kids and the house. And, you know, don't expect her to do anything except be the amazing woman that I fell in love with. And I feel like you have a lot of, you know, it's coming out as pride. It is. It's like pride for the women that you love right now in your life. And when I say women, like, it could be like your mother, your sisters, your wife, like, you know, surrounded by the women that are in your family, the women that you hold close, or also a lot of pride for the women that you have loved in your life. And, you know, like, even if you've gone your separate ways, like, every time you were in a relationship with them, like, you were just able to take care of them in a way that they had never received care before. And I feel like that's something you maybe have heard a lot from women in your life. Like, you know, you do so much for me, or you've done so much for, you know, your girlfriend or your wife, or, you know, who you're with. And I don't know if they realize just how truly lucky they are, but there's a lot of women around you that realize you are a gem. You are a diamond in the rough, pile one. And they would love, love, love to be able to be with you. You are the leader. I mean, you can't get more... you can't get a higher level than the Emperor here, at least in the physical world. The only one I would say would be above the Emperor would be the Pope, and that's because he's both in and out of the spiritual and the material world. But we see the material world here with the 9 of coins. We see the material world even with Aries and the 5th house. You know, it's like what you're physically able to do as a leader. And you're offering this ability to see things from a bright, clear perspective for them. And so there's a lot of women here who feel like if they could go on the journey with you spiritually, that you would lead them to heights that they did not know existed. Yeah, they absolutely love you. Wow, with the 2 of Cups behind the Emperor. I feel like it's more than just attraction. I feel like there's a lot of women that fall in love with you, pile one. Like, they just can't help it. You're a dream come true. And I feel like the thing is that you might not realize that. I feel like you realize your worth, and you know you're good looking, you know these things, but I feel like hearing this also, there's like this feeling of pushback, like, no, I'm not that good. You know, I'm still human. I'm still, yeah, all those things are true. But the truth is that you're far better than you're giving yourself credit for. Do you feel like you kind of beat yourself up? Like, oh, you know, like, maybe I'm not as fit as I once was, or maybe, you know, I don't make as much money as I once did, or I have more responsibilities to take care of. I'm not, you know, taking care of myself as much as I once did. Excuse me. But you are coming from this place of truth and authenticity that many, many, many people are not coming from, and many women are craving. You know, especially if you know or have talked to a lot of single women recently, it's like this is something they're craving. And for you, honestly, pile one, you get the pick of the litter, you know, and I'm not trying to be cruel when I say that. Like, if you're married, great, you know, like you know, but honestly, you're going to have your pick of the litter. And it's like, so deciding what you want in a partner, you're going to be able to manifest that because of the type of energy that you have. It's a very approachable, kind, gentle, safe, trustworthy energy. And that's because I feel like you're a very honorable person. And I wish I could say that that was something that's common in the world, but it's not. It's not a common thing. So let's find out some more here. On the bottom, look at this. Yeah, we've got Virgo and this Sun in Virgo with health. Right? So you take care of your health, but I feel like this is more than just your physical health. This is your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, and your physical health. Like, you take care of your whole body, your whole vessel. So you are very spiritually tapped in. And I really felt that here with the 9 of coins, which is also Virgo energy. So you could have a Virgo sun. You have Virgo in the 9th house. You could also have Virgo in the 12th house or the 4th house. You could have an Aries moon is coming in, a Gemini rising is coming in as well. Okay. And if you were like, I don't know what any of that means, then that's okay too. That's okay too. Yeah. So I feel like women feel like they could go the distance with you in a relationship, and that's why they're secretly attracted to you, pile number 1. Why are women secretly attracted to pile number 1? Yeah, air energy. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Open-mindedness, objectivity, and learning. Like, you're always learning new things. You know, you're not just limiting yourself to what you've already learned. Like, you might research more about whatever it is that interests you, or you have a certain type of hobby where you're always learning more about that hobby. Spiritually, you could be reading spiritual texts or self-help texts, or you could be going to therapy or learning how to better cope with life, like learning coping skills. You know, these are all very valuable things, but I also feel like you're very open-minded. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. When it comes to someone telling you their own problems, like especially with the Hangman here, I feel like a lot of women share their discrepancies with the men in their lives with you, or the people in their lives with you, or the women in their lives with you. And, you know, I feel like you're coming from this place of seeing it from outside the box. And so you're able to give them some really sound support, and they can't help but fall in love with you because of that. Yeah, it's who you are. House 1, your individuality, your self-image, your approach to life, the way you are in the world. You could have an Aries rising as well as coming in. Yeah, so it's who you are, who you've worked to become is what they've fallen in love with. So regardless of how you look, how you physically look, you are seen as incredibly desirable because of your sound mind and your bright light. You're just a bright, beautiful light in the world. Look, I cannot make this up. You know your worth with the skunk spirit here. You know your value. You know your worth. And again, you're not afraid to walk away from situations that aren't respectful of that. But you're never disrespectful either. Like, I feel like you show everything the highest, most respect. Even when you're saying goodbye, you're still coming from a very respectful place. You're not diminishing your integrity because someone has done something wrong to you, or someone has, broken their word to you, or whatever. Like, you're still coming from a very grounded place. We had athlete flip over. Yeah. So you could have a very athletic body. So again, very, very attractive body as well, but it's like you're the whole package, Pile 1. It's not just your physical looks. But I do feel like that is something that women notice right away, is your physical body and your physical attributes. But then when they get to talk to you, they're like, oh my gosh, Pile 1 is everything. They're nice, they're kind, they're loving, they're supportive, they're a leader, they take charge, they take initiative, they're taking care of themselves. Like, oh my gosh, and the list goes on. It says the light attributes is dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit. Exactly. So it's your willpower and your strength of spirit are the two things that really, really stand out the most here. So it's, of course, your physical attributes, yes, but that's only a part of it. It's just a portion of it, and it's actually a very small portion of it. The shadows are misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability, and entitlement. And I feel like a lot of the women that are attracted to you have dealt with this from others, is that entitlement and that people using their good looks as a means to abuse others. And so when they find you, they might even be hesitant to approach you in the beginning, but you are so laid back and chill. You could have long hair. I don't know why this is coming through, but you could have long hair, wear like backwards baseball caps, or wear a lot of jerseys is coming in. I'm getting baggy pants, like baggy jeans. Like, you're just someone who could kick back and like we could drink, a beer together and it would be so much fun, but you can also dress up and look like a shined up penny too, Like, that's the type of energy that I'm getting. Like, no matter what you wear, you look good, but you also just are very easy to approach. Yeah, King. Yeah, you are. Wow, your energy is something else, Pile 1. I hope you understand just how amazing you are, because, yeah, you are. We have an enlightened, benevolent leadership. Okay, benefiting those in your charge. Yeah, it's for you're like a Three Musketeers, my friend. It's one for all and all for one with you, and you live by that. You live by that. But it's also the minute that somebody becomes greedy, you're like, okay, so you're kind of the one that gets moved on out. Like, we're not going to keep you in the club no more. You're not a musketeer no more, okay? So go on. The shadow is excessive feelings of entitlement, ruler without restraint. So again, entitlement is coming through here twice on two different cards. So I feel like a lot of women have dealt with a lot of entitled men and women in their lives. And when they come to you, pile one, they're like, oh my gosh, they're not entitled at all, but they're standing in this very powerful energy that's immediately attractive. Like, I feel like pile one can take care of us. I feel like pile one can support us. I feel like pile one can be there for us in the way that's going to help us unfold into our soft energy. Yeah, you're very healing. You are very healing. That's what I was feeling, like this energy of being able to heal because you've healed yourself. And that's something that's very clearly coming through. You could practice shamanism or some sort of rituals like this, though. Also feathers, there's something about feathers, but again, coming back to like long hair, maybe you wear a feather in your hair, or you have one earring that has a feather on it that you wear, or you wrap leather in your hair. You could also be a descendant of a Native American tribe. Or I'm also getting curandismo. I think that's how you say it. I apologize if I totally butchered that. But that is like shamans from Latin America. And you could be a descendant from one of those tribes as well as coming in. And then you could just really have some really prevalent blood in your bloodline that stands out. So there's something very ancient about you, though, very wise and understanding, too. Very understanding. I feel like in a very beautiful way, too. You help put a lot of women's minds at ease, and this is why they're secretly attracted to you. Yeah. You know, and I think that's something that people don't put enough stock into at times. Like, having somebody who has a solid listening ear. You might be like, what is it? Why am I getting... I have this John Wayne cup that I drink out of sometimes, and there's a line on the inside of the lip, and it says, talk low, talk slow, and don't say too much. And I feel like that's kind of how you are. You talk low, you talk slow, and you also don't say too much. Like, you say just what needs to be said. You're a very succinct speaker, but you also acknowledge what it is that has been said to you in so few words. And that is something that women secretly find incredibly attractive. 11th house, build your community. Yeah, so I feel like you're surrounded by a lot of beautiful women. Like, I really feel like, pile one, you're surrounded by a lot of beautiful women. Like, everywhere you go, there's beautiful women. Like, you could just really appreciate women. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. You know, look, I get it. You know, it's easy to appreciate men. I get that. Okay, like, I understand that. But I really feel like you're always surrounded by beautiful women. Like, no matter where you go, you find yourself in the midst of communities of beautiful women, and all of them can't help but like you. And I feel like you've been in the midst of some fights. Like, there's been some fights around you, and you're always the one that's like, look, guys, there's more than enough of me to go around. Why are we fighting? There's no need for a fight. You feel like a big hippie. You really do. You might not dress like a hippie, but you could. But you do. You have just really, like, look, all love and no fight, guys. Come on. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Yeah, regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Maybe that's something from your past too, but I do feel like there's a lot of women coming in from your past that regret not saying how they actually felt about you. Like, they just assumed that you would take the lead and come and ask them out. And I feel like you do that when it matters to you, when you like them. You will absolutely do that. But also, if you don't know, like, you're not going to do it if you don't know, right? Like, you can't. So dream the world into being. You're incredibly creative. You could be an artist of some sort. So, like, musician, a drawer, a painter is coming in, a tattoo artist is coming in. You could be a writer as well. Some sort of artist, though. Like, that's something that you're known for. You could also be someone, this is coming in, and this is very specific. This is going to resonate with a lot, but someone who does mountain climbing or scaling rock. What is it? Rock scaling? Isn't that when they do it without a net, or like without, you know, what is that called? Anyways, but you like climb up the rocks, but you don't have like anything to catch you. Yeah, DNA, karma. So there's something about your DNA too. Like there's something about your heritage, your background that also women are secretly attracted to. So it's like, I feel like you have a darker shade of skin. You don't necessarily have to, but I do feel like you have a darker shade of skin. Or maybe you're surrounded by a lot of darker shaded skin people and you have a lighter shade of skin tone. So it's like very opposite. It feels like very opposite where you're at. You know, like you're either really light, you're medium, or you're really dark. And there's something about that really stands out that women find incredibly attractive. It's almost as if it's exotic. Even if where you're at, you're not very exotic, but it's almost as if it's exotic. And that's why that's why women are secretly attracted to you. And they're just like, wow. But it's something to do with your skin tone. You could also have like an olive complexion as well. Fire, do it with passion. Yeah, and really with all this fiery energy, they're very sexually attracted to you, pile 1. They want to have your babies, okay? Happiness, yeah, I'm aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. You're generally an incredibly happy-go-lucky person. You're just very laid back and easygoing. I feel like you always like to make people laugh and smile. You have this like childlike charm to you that aids in your comedy and in your goofballery, if you will. And you just have a good time. And that's something that women find charming about you. Yeah, so we have Mercury in Cancer with intuition. Again, confirming what I was feeling. You're incredibly intuitive. You're very connected, and I don't know if you're aware of how connected you are, or maybe you are, but I think for many of you, you're like, I don't feel that intuitive, but you're often led by your gut. Like you get a gut feeling and you don't question it. You move towards it. Yeah, your intuition is on fleet. Like that's why women are secretly attracted to you, because they see those decisions and they see how impactful they are when you make them. And that's part of you doing things from a leadership position as well. So you actually got a sacral chakra card here, and that's talking about this is my right to feel. So you are also driven by your emotions, but also the sacral chakra, when it's open, it also helps us connect with our intuition even deeper. And so that's another energy that's coming in here. We're going to read this card from the book and see what it says. Flow with life, the sacral chakra. Yeah, I really feel like you might have light colored eyes, like green eyes, blue eyes, hazel eyes are coming in here. And that's something that women are secretly attracted to as well. Number 6. Numero 6, mi friend. Okay, balance, giving, and receiving. Yeah, you're beautiful at doing this. You treat everybody equally. You're being asked to work on a deeper understanding of the flow of energy in all your relationships. Insecurities around the true self, sexuality, attractiveness, and feelings of inadequacy, shame, and embarrassment can be stored in the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the pathway to health and youth. You're very healthy looking. And when it is open, you will feel connected to everything. There will apply creative elegance to your accomplishments rather than pushing to achieve. With no aversion to the flow of life, you will clearly understand your role in every relationship and with life itself. In every relationship, there is a giver and a taker. This is fixed and has nothing to do with each individual's auroric field. Neither one is superior or better than the other. It is the universal law. If you think about yourself and relationships as a mountain, sometimes you are the larger mountain and sometimes the smaller mountain. Energy always flows like a river downstream from the largest mountain on the path of least resistance. To create successful relationships, observation is the key to understanding your role. As a giver, didn't I say that? Like, you give a lot. You're not a people pleaser. Like, I don't feel like that's the energy you reside in at all. It's a very healthy space. It says, as a giver, the more you give, the more you will get, and the greater your experiences, and the more fulfilled you will feel. As a taker, when you open to drawing forth and fully receiving the energy meant for you, the more you can create and then give in return to those downstream for you. It says only one person in a relationship needs to understand who's the giver and who's the taker to facilitate the flow of energy in order to create harmony. You are ready to learn this sophisticated teaching and work to apply what you understand. Go gently, be patient with yourself and others as you grow and learn. Remember, there's no right or wrong or better or worse position. Be fully participating in your role with the flow of life and become an initiator of healthy and flourishing relationships. So you're someone that advocates these healthy relationships just by coming from this place. And I do feel like you're a giver. I felt like that from the beginning. Like, you have so much to give. You're giving from an overflowing cup, but not at the cost of yourself. You will always put yourself first, especially when it feels like someone is overtaking from you or trying to manipulate you. You immediately cut things off. You come from that very grounded place, from the Emperor's energy, where it's like you know how to rule from a very kind, benevolent hand, but if need be, you will become a stern, solid hand in order to maintain the peace and order in your field. And this is why women are secretly attracted to you. This is a phenomenal energy that you have, and I hope that you honor it yourself, pile number one, truly. Okay, so this is what I see here for you today. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little orange heart emoji down below and say, I am tuned into feeling, knowing that I am able to give while equally being able to receive in a very grounded way. And if you liked it or you felt like it resonated with you, it'd mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you'd like to go deeper and support the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly powerful reading today. Thank you for being you, pile number one. I was honored to share this time with you. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Pisces on it, and this pile's not just for Pisces, it's just another option to choose from. But if you're here because you are Pisces, perfectly fine. My AC just turned on. Or if you were drawn to this orange pen, or perhaps you were called to this card during this shuffle, this is going to be your reading on why are women secretly attracted to you. Now, we are all here sharing this human experience. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned and loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the messages do resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit. Also, keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm so honored to be spending it here with you today. Also, very quickly, if you're also interested in checking out why men are secretly attracted to you, that reading was posted just a few days before this one, and for future reference, whatever these come out, they will come out in tandem with one another. So you'll get both readings, one right after the other, and no rhyme or reason as to which one's first, just whichever one I get called to do first is the one that gets posted first, okay? So why are women secretly attracted to you, pile number two? Why are women secretly attracted to you, pile number two? It's just crazy. I think this happened in the other one too, is we got 5th house placements for the first two readings, and we got 5th house placements for the first two readings on this one. So the 5th house Libra and the Sun, you're a fair person. You see both sides. Like, I feel like there's a lot of women here who might confide in you. Like, maybe they have a really close friend, 222 on the clock. And you're pile two. I feel like they might, like, if an example would be, like, if they have a really close friend and they had a fight with their close friend, and they might come to you and tell you about the fight, and you see it from both sides. Like, you can understand why they were both fighting with each other, or why they both argued with each other, or disagreed with each other. Like, you're able to balance it out for them. And they're secretly attracted to this because you're not just trying to take one side over the other. Like, you're really truly trying to give guidance on, you know, sometimes we all just have differing opinions, or sometimes, you know, things happen and we see things differently, or sometimes we disagree with each other, but that shouldn't be cause for us to let go of the good people in our lives, when normally we're always happy they're there, right? And I feel like this is a very strong energy that you have. You could have Libra highly aspect in your chart. You could actually have the sun, moon, rising, all three in Libra, like a heavy hitter, right? Or you could have one of those signs in Libra. Also, you could specifically have Mercury in Libra, or the 3rd or the 6th house in Libra as well. Okay. So you're also this very bright light. You're a very beautiful person. You're very handsome. You're very easy to go up to and talk to, but also someone who is going to give direction in life when necessary. I also feel like you're very flirty. You flirt with a lot of women, and maybe you don't. Maybe you're very bubbly and it's taken as being flirty, or maybe you just like to give people a bad time and they take it as you being very flirty. But I feel like a lot of women are secretly attracted to you because they feel like you're very flirty, like you'd be a lot of fun all the time. And because you see things from this very balanced state, very fair, understanding, there's a lot of energy here that's coming in that you would make a great parent for them, like a great dad or a great mom, you know, depending on who's here watching this, but that you would make a good masculine energy parent for kids in their lives. Like, you would be the one to encourage the kids and give them necessary discipline, but not discipline in an abusive way, discipline in a guiding way. And that's something that women find incredibly attractive about you, and they're secretly attracted to as well. Like, I had that for pile 1 too. I want to have your babies. I'm kidding. Sorry, that just always makes me laugh when it comes through, because it's just such a, you know, like, you hear it, and then when it comes through, you're like, oh, okay, well, here we go. You could also have Leo highly aspect in your chart, and I feel like you're just a very, very attractive person, especially with the sun here. Like, you might even get teased by your friends on how attractive you are. Like, if, just say, for instance, you're single and your friends are like, oh, I can't even believe you're single, pile 2, for how crazy attractive you are. Like, and I feel like they've made some really crazy comments about that. That's what I'm getting here. But women are secretly attracted to you because you're a very attractive person. Very attractive. And there's many of you that might not feel that way, but that is coming in. Also, I did mention when I was doing in the very beginning, right before I had the options come up for the pile. So if you watch the pick energy, right at the very end of the collective energy, because pile 1 and pile 2, pile 1 got an orange card and a green pin, and you got a green card and an orange pin. So I did say that these two piles right off the bat were giving me that they would have, like, similar energies. So you may have been called to pile 1 as well, and if you feel called to watch it, you can. There might be additional messages for you, but there's no obligation. Okay, so why are women secretly attracted to you, pile 2? Interesting. Why are women secretly attracted to you, pile 2? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay, you're getting 4 cards. No, I can't. Yeah, so you might very well resonate with some of the messages in pile 1 too. Okay, so you have been through a lot, pile 2. Then we've got the five of cups on the bottom, and they're yeah, I feel like you've been through a lot in your life, and there's women here who have witnessed you going through a lot of that in your life too, where you've maybe had a falling out with, this could have been a relationship or a friend or a family member. Like, there's something here that you had a big blow, it feels like a big blowout with, and somehow you showed up incredibly graceful to the situation. Like, you showed up and you were like, okay, like, I understand where it's going, I understand where it's coming from, like, I understand what's next, but I don't want things to go this way, but I can't, like, I have to do what's right for me right now, because obviously trying to keep things together is not working. There's a lot of exhaustion here, there's a lot of upset. Honestly, this Ten of Swords is giving me like divorce energy or like massive breakup energy. That's what it's giving me, which is odd because it doesn't usually give me that type of energy, but that's what I feel right now. And so I do feel like also that you could have had kids, like there could have been a custody battle here for you. And I know these are very specific, but those are the energies, and I want to touch bases with those while it's coming through. But for others, this could have just been maybe a loss of a job or a loss of a home or something like that. And there's been a lot of women in your life that have been there as a friend for you, or they want to be a friend so that one day that, you know, like they can maybe go further than being friends. But it didn't matter because they watched you blossom from this terrible situation. They watched you become so strong again. And now you're in this space with the Daughter of Cups energy here. You're in this space of offering love from, it's like a new type of love that you're giving to the women around you. It's not the same as it once was. I ain't as good. What is that? I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good yet as I ever was. What is that? A Toby Keith song? Yeah, so I feel like you had so much to give, but you may have overextended yourself when you were in this Ten of Swords situation. Whatever this is some sort of hardship. This is representing some sort of hardship that led to abundance in your life, okay? Some sort of scarcity that has thus since led to abundance. Abundance of spirit, abundance in wealth, abundance in, you know, job, money, whatever. It's abundance, some sort of abundance here, okay? And what had happened before is that maybe you were overextending yourself, and that was actually something that turned off a lot of women. Like, they didn't like that. They were like, oh, pile two, you give way too much. Like, it's a little off-putting. And this situation showed that to yourself, where you suddenly decided to really focus inward and focus on building stability for yourself. And through that, you've basically gone from being the ugly duckling with this Swan card here into this beautiful being, this beautiful, handsome, incredibly good looking person. So, and that could have been that when you were in this situation, you had no time, space, or energy to take care of yourself, and now you're taking care of yourself. Like, it could be physical, but it does feel very spiritual more than anything. And mental too. It feels very mental as well. Like, your mental health has shifted. And so now it's like, maybe before it was like you were begging for people to like you. There's a people-pleasing energy here as well that's coming through. But it could have just been actions that you were trying to take because you felt called to, but they weren't helping you, right? Like, it wasn't helping you get where you needed to go. In fact, I feel like you even realized that it was hindering you. And so something had to fall apart here. And through that, you were reborn. And now you're in a state of authentic expression. And I feel like you very clearly express yourself. And you very clearly say the things that you mean. And you mean what you say. And you're also not in that people-pleasing energy any longer. You've moved on to understanding more of how to give a balanced type of love, while also not allowing yourself to get lost in situations because of love or because of connection. I feel like you're withdrawn from connecting with others on a physical level right now, even if that might have been something that you had really explored in the past. I feel like the reason being is because it's like, I want to have that serious connection with somebody, and that's not going to resonate with every person on here, but I do feel like that's an energy that's coming in, especially with this Five of Cups. Like, you're busy networking, but it's more about the physical realm right now, like what you're building physically, money, stability. And this is giving this essence of strong power and strong will to the women that you've networked with along the way. And so they see you as a caretaker, right? And that I already know is going to bring up a lot of different emotions for a lot of different people, because masculines are not just here to be the caretakers of the feminines, but the truth is that that's still something that society sees, and there's going to be a lot of women who are going to see that, especially if you identify as a masculine, or more so with the masculine energy. And that's still something that comes up, and they still find that as attractive. And so, you know, like, if you own it, own it. I'm just going to say that. Of course, that's not the type of person you want in your life that's just there for what you can give them monetarily. But look, you've also built yourself up spiritually, and I feel like that's what you're attracting. This is the key here for you, is your spiritual lessons and what you've gained. And you've got a lot of knowledge and wisdom. And so it feels like, again, there's a lot of women here who are tapping into realizing that when we got the Libra energy here at the beginning, because you see things from both sides. And that is very valuable. Because it's showing that, like, say, like, your wife, just say this, like, you get married and your wife has a fight with her family, and, you know, she's like, I'm done with my family, can't handle my family anymore, I can't do it with them anymore, like, and you're gonna be like, okay, honey, tell me what's going on, like, what happened? So she tells you everything that's going on, and, you know, within reason, obviously not toxic situations, but within reason, if they were both being human and they had human moments, you're going to explain both sides to her, and you're going to be like, look, it's okay. Everybody makes their mistakes, and it's not worth losing family over because of these mistakes that we're all going to make. But if you need to take some time, then take some time and come back when you're not so angry. And when you're not so angry, then you guys can discuss it. And that is something that is so powerful for a woman, to have somebody support her like that in her life. We don't need more people in our lives that are just taking our sides blindly, or because it's not that you're not taking her side, and it's not that you won't take her side, but it's like you're also, you're thinking ahead for her. Like, okay, in 5 years, say it's with her mother. Like, she had a terrible fight with her mother, and her mom and her have been best friends, and they've always had, like you're thinking long term, like, she's going to regret never talking to her mom again. And I don't want her to feel that type of regret. And so those are the types of things that you're considering when you're giving advice. Like, you're considering things that maybe a woman isn't considering in that moment, because she's so filled with emotion, or because she's so driven by her emotional state. And it's like you're weighing out all the options. Like, how does this affect for short term? How does this affect for long term? Like, what could this mean on both sides for each person? And that's something that feels very safe, and it feels very stable, and it feels very spiritually sound. It's like being wrapped up in a warm hug, and it's like being wrapped up in a gift of love. But it's a supportive love that not a lot of women get to experience. And that's why women are secretly attracted to you, because you do that naturally. And I feel like you do that with people who come to you for advice. You just naturally, this is a part of who you are. You could work in the mental health field, or you could be in some sort of coaching field. You don't have to be, but that is an energy that's coming in here. You could also just be like so easy to approach that people naturally tell you their problems. And that could be something too, where it's like, man, I get a lot of women who tell me everything that's going on in their lives. And it's because you have this safe energy. You're a very safe person to approach, which can feel like both a gift and a curse. I get that. But it is a gift, because not a lot of masculines are in that energy, and they're very off-putting or very abrasive. But you're not. You're very welcoming and observant, and your observation gives you an essence of freedom to experience life in a very different way. And women are naturally drawn to that. So let's see what else comes out for you, pile 2. Why are women secretly attracted to pile number 2? Okay, this one, thank you. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have the moon. Yeah, moon in Capricorn with practicality. You're incredibly mindful of everything. That's why I was saying, like, exactly what I was expressing right now. It's like you see both sides. You approach life from a very grounded, practical state. And to be practical, sometimes it can be a double-edged sword, right? Sometimes we can lose our spiritual edge because we're trying to be so practical and logical all the time. But for you, it's almost as if your spirituality is guiding the practicality within you, right? Like, to approach it this way. Is this something that's going to benefit them in 5 years? You think about the whole of the story. You think about the whole sum of its parts, not just one. And that's why women are secretly attracted to you, because maybe they've had men in their lives, or masculines, or even friends, right? Or other women in their lives, depending on who's watching this. Because I know I get both. I get both men and women who watch both sides. Okay, so I understand. So I'm trying to keep it open for everybody. But I feel like it's like women have had people that they've been attracted to in their lives that have just only taken their side for what it was worth when they were in their most human, being completely ruled by the hurt or the pain that was going on in their lives, and then have greatly regretted it later on, but then have maybe been told by their partners, like, well, you know, I took your side back then, and why do you want to change it now? Like, you always do this. But that's not the type of energy that you give off. You're just like, wait, hold on. Why don't we take a minute to think about this before making a decision? And that is something that they just really admire about you. Yeah, conjunction, a union, a merging, a coming together. You help the crossroads that they have to go through seem less daunting than they are. And that's something that women find highly attractive about you. Like I was saying, I think at the very beginning in the collective message, if you didn't check out the collective message, you're more than welcome to. It's timestamped down below in the description box. But I believe I said this in there. It was it totally just went away. What I was going to tell you. Okay, hope it comes back. You just make things seem more manageable for them. And you know, that can be frustrating at times, but that's what it's saying. It's like you help them see that the hardships don't have to be so hard. Right? Again, with the practicality, we're making things much more difficult than they are. Women are famous for that. I'm just going to say it. Women, you know, I talked about this with some neighbors in my family the other day. The same conversation came out twice in a row, like one right after the other. And it was so funny because I ended up talking to some guys about it, and even a couple of women. And I was talking about how when women, you know, we hear it from the people in our lives, you know, like we talk about it. And this is why women have so many problems. We talk about it, we talk some more, and we keep talking about what we talked about. And we end up rehashing the same thing like 100 times. And then when we get upset with somebody, it becomes this petty, all out emotional war. It's very intrusive and overwhelming, and everybody ends up getting far more hurt when women are mad. And this is not to poke at women. This is just because women are very run in the here and the now by their emotions, and that's okay. So like when we have a lot of women who are not healed, that this is a pattern that we'll see. But men, even when men aren't healed, most of the time, if they get mad at each other, and we talked about this, we laughed it off. Men will throw a punch at each other, then they'll help each other stand back up and say, hey, you want to go grab a beer? And they're totally over it. They're done with it. It's a done deal. Like, that's not something that women necessarily hold the capacity for. I'm not saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is just not something. Like, stereotypes exist for a reason, right? Because they're just something that there's an overwhelming amount of people that do them. And that's why I feel like with you help women, instead of being in that petty, over emotional energy. It's not even sensitivity. It's just like something has irritated her. Something has really made her mad. Instead of her residing in that irritation, you help her to ease back from that and to look at it from a different perspective. And this is why women are secretly attracted to you, Pile 2. Yeah, open to the infinite possibilities. Yeah, stop seeing it. It was 22:22 on the clock saying that. So you, instead of just being so focused on the one thing that's happening right now, how can we look at the bigger picture? And how is that going to benefit us if we look at the bigger picture instead? Okay, you got 3 cards. We've got the Guide, the Artist, and the Destroyer. I'm going to take the Guide because I feel like this one for sure wants to come out. We'll take a look at these other 2, but I'm going to put them back. We have the Guide, which represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. That's why I'm saying you're very intuitive. You're very connected. And then the Shadow is places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. So you've learned, and I feel like that's a thing, like, right, you're focusing on the physical world, but it's not at the cost of your intuition. It's not at the cost of your divine guidance. They're in tandem with each other here. So we have the Artist, and that's expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. This is exactly what you're doing with that Libra energy, is to see it symbolically, not as set in stone, but what's the potential for this? And then the Destroyer, releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life. Honestly, I was going to put them back, but they're so synchronistic to what we were talking about here. I'm going to go ahead and leave them out here for you, pile 2, because that's the thing here. You know, and we have the Shadows, the intoxication with destructive powers, destroying others' dreams or potential, and the Shadow here is using talent as an excuse to mistreat others or pursuing the starving artist, or posing as a starving artist to elicit pity. So that's the thing. It's like you help people step away from the shadow, right? It's like you've been more comfortable in the shadow, healing from the shadow, or learning from the darkness, from the 10 of Swords here. And not letting it become what destroys you, but rather letting it become what inspires you as you move on. So we have the Shapeshifter. Yeah, so you could have actually changed when this situation happened. You could have become an entirely different person. Skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, and ability to see the potential in everything. This is exactly what you do. The Shadow is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. Like, that's the thing, like, you're shifting through these different dimensions. You see things in a very different way than most people do, but for women, it's something that's entirely comforting because you're helping them relinquish a lot of anger and fear and just overwhelming emotions when it comes to just simple day-to-day things, and even hardships that they may have experienced at any one moment. That's why women are secretly attracted to you. I feel like you do this without even trying. It's just like if women are having a conversation with you, it's going to happen naturally in a conversation because it's just a part of who you are. Yeah, Submerged, the Iceberg. You know, and the Iceberg card talks about we only see 10% of what's on the surface. There's a whole nother 90% that's unexplored. And I feel like you're very mysterious, and women want to get to know you more, but also there's some sort of reserve to you. Like, you're not just giving all of who you are at once. Like, you're very reserved in your approach to sharing information about yourself. And so women want to get more, to get to know you more. And so I feel like when you're asked questions, you'll reveal those answers, but it's not just something that you naturally share about yourself. And so that edge of mystery makes you very attractive. Fixed energy, keep on keeping on. Yeah, and even after this hardship, like, you've never given up. You still continued to move forward, and you found courage and resilience. You're like a knight in shining armor, but for yourself, and that's very attractive. Opposition, make compromises. Yeah, you experienced struggle. You experienced a power struggle. You experienced hardships along the way, the challenges. You made a compromise. I feel like you made a compromise to yourself as well. What's going to serve my higher good while not being at the cost of someone else's life? And you come from this place of love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Again, this energy, seeing the good in all things. Like, you're an embodiment of love. You may or may not realize that, but you are. And I feel like you're a very open and honest person, and you live by your honor and your honesty. But it's also this energy of being able to see both sides of the story, which makes you highly attractive. On the bottom, adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So you have made it very clear that adversity is almost one of your strong suits. Like that's where you're going to grow the most. And so there's women here who have watched you experience adversity and have watched you grow from it in a very powerful way. Look, opposition came out again. Imbalance, a point of tension, and a power struggle. Exactly. So they've watched you go through the struggle. They've watched you go through something that was very hard to overcome, and then almost like turning right from the ugly duckling into the beautiful swan. It's like this very awkward transition, but it was so worth it. And I feel like even for you, you're like, I'm glad I made it through that, because it was very challenging. It was very difficult. Yeah, bring a gentle touch. Like, you're not aggressive. You're not abrasive. You're not like beating down doors or anything like that. Like, you're just a very soft energy that approaches women from this soft place. And that was something else that came out in the collective message too, this very gentle, loving energy. But I think that the fact that deer spirit here is here and not the stag spirit, like that speaks volumes, because it's like, I hear that song, like a thief in the night, coming for your heart, I'm coming for your heart, just as the saying goes. I'm just a selfish ghost. I can't remember who sings that song. It's a dubstep song that I listen to. It's obviously probably a remix of the original song, but I don't know. That's the lines though. It's like a thief in the night. Like that's you. You're like a thief in the night, but you're not trying to steal people's hearts, right? Like that's not what you're doing, but you can't help but that to happen, because your energy it's soft, it's inviting, it's full of love, it's accepting of so many things that most people aren't accepting of. Yeah, power. And I feel like this is a thing. You're very soft power. You're gentle masculine power that approaches the world from a place that actually is vulnerable for masculinity. But that masculinity and that softness actually turns into a powerhouse of abundance and wisdom, because you're not trying to blast your way, right? Like most masculinity is just trying to force its way in. And in fact, you're the thunder. You're the thunder instead of the lightning, right? Like you're coming in as the aftermath of everyone destroying what's in front of them. And you're the one that comes in and reminds women that it's okay for them to be who they are. It's okay for them to come as they are. And also the voice, the soft voice. You might have a very deep voice as well. And that's something that women are secretly attracted to. Also get like, I feel like you dress, so there's this very interesting energy that's coming in. Like you dress really sharp, but it's also kind of, is the right word grunge, I think, maybe. Yeah. like you might dress up, like you might have some blazers that you wear or something like that, or like some button-up shirts, but you might wear like button-up shirts with some baggy jeans, or you might wear button-up shirts with some like corduroy pants, like not like they would match or something. It's not about matching, it's just kind of like what your style is like what you like. So it's a little bit unorthodox, I think, is where we're going with that. So, but it seems like it's dressed up, but it's also kind of dressed down at the same time. So, you know, maybe you're wearing a suit, but instead of wearing nice shoes, you're wearing some loafers, right? Like you've got some sandals on and everyone's like, why are you wearing sandals? And you're like, because they're comfortable. Like, why wouldn't I? You know, it's kind of that type of energy that's coming in. Like part of you is incredibly classy and dressed up and snazzy. And then the other part of you is just like, looks like you could go out and paint the garage and, you know, kick up your feet on the lawn. All right, we've got the moon in Aquarius with independence. Yeah, I feel like that's the other thing. You're not reliant on the people around you. Oftentimes you've had to do things by yourself. And I feel like you leaning on anybody, women included, that's just not something that you necessarily do. Because you've learned to be the soft strength in your own life. And that's been enough for you. And it continues to be enough for you. And it's like, of course you want someone to lean on in that way, but I also feel like you're not trying to rush anything either. I feel like you're allowing things to unfold the way that they're supposed to, because you know that there's something really good that's coming for you. So I'm going to take a look at your card here. This is the heart chakra energy. We're going to read this from the book and see what it says. We have breathe in the prana. Look at this. You are a peacock. Yeah, you are beautiful handsome, attractive. You stand out. You also elicit a lot of uncomfortable change in people, but it's weird because it's like this energy, like, I don't want to change, and there's this force with pile 2 where I have to change, but then I'm extremely grateful that I got to change in that way. Right? Like at first they're like, no, and then they're like, yay. It says prana is not the breath, it is the energy of creative life. This card comes as a message to you to go deeper into a relationship and use the breath of life to receive more power and pranic energy. Prana is a life that comes through the element of air, through the breath, and is given to you because you have earned this life. Because your life and your breath is a gift, you must receive it and enjoy it fully. This takes practice and a desire to be fully aware. Yogis practice having an awareness of every breath. They understand the immense benefit that come from this moment-by-moment awareness. Excuse me. Okay, so I was thinking about, it's so weird. I was just thinking about, they call it the yogic breath. And a yogic breath is, and I can't remember the actual name of it, but that's what we always, when I watch yoga, they refer to it as our yogic breath. And it's where you kind of tighten up the back of your throat. And when you breathe, it kind of sounds like the same sound as when you put a seashell to your ear. So when you're breathing in and breathing out, so you're actually restricting your breath, but it gives you more breath. And it's a very weird sensation because you're like, but I'm kind of restricting it. So how am I getting more? That's you. You're restricting something from someone, but in some way, shape, or form, you're giving them more. And that's a very powerful energy. I know that seems kind of vague, but it's dependent on who you are and what it is that you give to people. There's something about what you give, whether that's love, advice, clarity, understanding, wisdom, time, listening, all of that. So whatever it is that you feel like you're best at, like you restrict it in some way, but because you're restricting it in some way, you end up giving more to the other people because you're still giving to yourself. It says conscious breathing called pranayama gives you prosperity, projection, and personality. It also increases your aura. When you breathe consciously, you are engaging a support system that will carry you and heal you. And that's, yeah, you're like the support system for women too. It says the conscious breath is called the breath of life. It is a way for you to connect with your infinity and your divinity. When you breathe continuously, you will know the universe and the universe will know you. Be friendly and open. Embrace your ability to have a continuous relationship with conscious breathing. Conscious breathing practices assist you to maintain your vital energy by providing a flush of energy and balancing your endocrine system so that you may feel more generous and less irritable. And over here it says, with a qualified yoga practitioner, learn and practice any of the following breathing techniques. It's so funny. I was just going to tell you the 4 breathing techniques that I do. So before I look at the list, the 4 that I do, and I try to do these every morning, is skull shining or the breath of fire. Then I do Nadi Shodhana breath, which is alternate breathing. Then I do billows breath, which is pretty close. It's like a billow, like a fire billow. And then the last one is bee breath. And that's where you close your eyes and your ears and you like this. And so those are the 4 that I try to do every day because it's very powerful. For that balances our physical, our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual body. And there's a guy, and I wish I could remember his name, but you can look up the 4 breathing techniques necessary for everyday practice, like on YouTube, and it should give you those same ones. But this one talked about, it says the breath of fire, the 1-minute breath, long, deep breathing, suspending the breath, alternate nostril breathing techniques, and I'm not sure what this one is, but it's a Kriya, the Shodarshan Chakra Kriya. Kriyas are hard, so if you practice Kriyas, like those are really challenging, just so you know. Kriya will leave me out of breath, but it's also very invigorating, so Yeah, it's your breath, isn't it? It's like that's your heart chakra too. Like that's where we're connected to our heart chakra. So there's like you're walking through life from your heart chakra, and it's very impactful to the women around you, and they can't help but be drawn to this very calming, gentle energy that you have that is helping guiding them to a more balanced state. So what a powerful energy that you have, Pile 2. I'm truly honored I got to spend this time with you today. But if you felt like this was your reading, leave the little scales emoji down below and say, by learning how to balance what I give to others with what I give to myself, I become a powerhouse of love and light in the world around me. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this powerful message today. And until next time, Pile 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 9th house on it, or perhaps you were called to this blue pen, or maybe you were called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on why are women secretly attracted to you. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the message does resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, remembering that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing today, and I'm truly honored to be here sharing it with you. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out why are women secretly attracted to you. Also, really quickly, if you're also interested in checking out why are men secretly attracted to you, that was posted 2 days before this one was. So whenever you see one or the other of these readings come out, I have mentioned this before, they will always come out together. Not on the same day, but they'll come out one right after the other. And so you should see them a few days apart on my channel, okay? So pile number 3. Why are women secretly attracted to you? Source, what would you like to share with us today? Pile number 3. Why are women secretly attracted to you? Okay. So we've got the 6th house, we've got Gemini, and we've got the South Node. I cannot. How many of these readings are just so similar to each other? It blows my mind sometimes, because I'm pretty sure on the other why men are secret, and not that you're interested in that, but it's just interesting because on the other one, why men are secretly attracted to you, I got the South Node on the 3rd pile as well. So okay, I just want to mention, hold on to your hats, because I'm not sure, let me tap into this energy, but I just want to say, because pile number 3 on that one kind of went way from the question itself. So, and sometimes that happens. I just want to mention that because we've got South Node energy in here, okay? But let me tap into this energy. Because the thing is here is that it's like your spiritual growth is actually what women are super attracted to. And you have shared what you've overcome. There's things about you that you've shared with others that you are using as like a baseline for women and men alike, right? For others. And so women are secretly attracted to this because they recognize that you have done the work. They recognize that you have moved mountains in your own life, that you have let go of past baggage that was creating roadblocks in your life, that was creating upsets in your life, may have even been weighing heavily on your health or your routines and your ability to perform day-to-day general activities. And I feel like right now you are very strict about your routines. Like you have a regimen that you follow to a T nearly every day. So that could be wake up at 4, go running and jogging, working out, so on and so forth, come home, drink a protein shake, take a shower, You know, then make some breakfast, get ready for your day, go to work, leave for work, come home from work, do some reflection or whatever that is. And it doesn't have to be this per se, but it's like very strict. Like your regimen is incredibly strict and you don't have a lot of space or time for others right now. And it's because you're really trying to move on from something or move on from a way of being that you once were. And that's something that women are secretly attracted to. It's like unobtainable. You're out of reach. So they placed you on a pedestal and they put you way, 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 way far up out of their reach. And this isn't about how you look. It's the fact that you give off this energy that you are someone that is unobtainable. No one's going to cage you. No one's going to be able to catch you. No one's going to be able to get you to be a part of their lives unless you want to. And it's like, you know, when they say scarcity creates demand, that's it. You've created scarcity of your time and your energy and your attention. And that's creating a high demand. And that could be intentional, but I feel like for many of you, pile 3 was something completely unintentional. It's just you're so focused on the journey right now moving forward, but you're also not afraid to share. You could have Gemini highly aspect in your chart. You could have Mercury in Gemini. You could have South Node or North Node in Gemini, which would put your South Node, North Node in Sag. You could have the 6th house in Gemini. You could also have prominent 3rd house placements in your chart as well. All right. Let's see what comes out with the cards. All right. Why are women secretly attracted to you, pile number 3? You're happy. You are happy with who you are. You are happy with what you've done in your life. You are happy with how far you've come, with the things that you've managed to, like the baggage you've managed to shed. You're very attractive. You have a sexual edge to you that a lot of women would like to unravel. What is that? What is that when they're comfortable? When pile 3 is comfortable with someone, what is that sexual edge that they have that they're giving off? I just feel like you know, it's not to say that you don't have your sexual encounters, or you do. It's just to say, like, that's something that women definitely are noticing. Why are women secretly attracted to you, pile number 3? Why are women secretly attracted to you, pile number 3? Okay. Yeah. I feel like these are a lot of women that you've been connecting with through networking. This could be through social media, through your business, through your company that you work for, through your job. Like, it's interesting because there's a horse on both of these. And I have the animal deck that I have talks about the horse's freedom, freedom of spirit. Right? So you're a free spirit. You're untamable is what you are. And you're like a wild stallion. You're beautiful. You're absolutely stunning. You're the thing that everybody wants, but no one can have except for a very special individual. And you could be married already. Like, you could have somebody in your life, you know? You could just be here wondering, like, it seems like there's all these women who are interested in me. Like, what's going on? You know? Also, I feel like you maybe have some, there's something about your hair. Okay, so I'm getting 2 things here. Some of you may have chosen to go completely do the bald thing, like just totally shaved off all your hair and you're rocking it. You look like a total BA. You look really good with it, and it's something that makes you look like you could, you know, throw some women around and have a good time. Whoa, pile 3. And then others of you, you have some really wild hair. Like, you may style it way different than anybody else, or like you give it a lot of volume, or you have really long curly hair and you like own your curls and you take really good care of them. Something like that. Like, it's just something about your hair, the way it's styled or lack thereof, that is incredibly attractive. It's like all the women are like, oh my gosh, pile 3 is so my type. Okay. Why are women secretly attracted to pile number 3? What is that song? Like, it felt like it was coming in when I was saying way away. Is it Sailing On? Is that like a Sia song or a Seal? Maybe it's a Seal song? I don't know. Anyways, I felt like I needed to say it, and I don't know. It's not coming to me now, and so we're just going to move on. It'll come back. If it's meant to, it'll come back. Yeah, we have the Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Heartbreaker. Yeah, so there's a lot of women who see you as a heartbreaker, but you're not. I don't feel like you go around intentionally breaking hearts. You could have at one point in your life. Like, you could have totally been a playgirl, playboy. Like, you could have totally owned that, right? I feel like the thing is that you know how to woo women. Like, you know how to talk to them, and you know how to say exactly what they want to hear. And I feel like part of you owning your routine is because it's too easy for you. It's too easy for you to get women to do whatever you want them to do. And I feel like the routine gives you something stable to rely on, while also reminding you that this is not the journey that you had planned on taking for the rest of your life. Like, eventually, I feel like you do want to settle down if you haven't. Or for those of you that maybe are married, right? Like, maybe you're married, so the routine is something that helps keep you straight and steady and committed when you figured out how easy it is to talk to women. Like, you figured out how to get whatever you want from women. And I feel like it's not that you were very manipulative, and I know a lot of people can look at that as like manipulation. I just feel like you know, it's kind of like when you go to school, and if you're really good at school and you just don't even try hard because you're going to get an A anyways, it's kind of like, well, what's the point of trying extra hard? Or like, what's the point of not doing it? You know, if I'm going to get an A anyways, it's like that type of energy. Like, I'm already just going to talk to women and naturally know what to say to them. You're really good at communication. You know, it's like smooth talker energy, but I don't feel like you use it as, like, especially now, I don't feel like you use it as a form of manipulation. That could be something that maybe you would come to terms with. But now you're really just trying to be a genuine person that shares your journey, the journey of hardships and the journey of what you've overcome, and help others on their journey too. Like, you're someone, you could be an inspirational speaker. That's something that you're striving to become, or maybe you're writing a book or something along the lines of communication, like public speaking, singing, you know, community networking. These things are coming through here. Well, I feel like that's the thing. It's like, now that you're not trying, it seems like women are falling even harder for you. And like, I do feel like there's a lot of temptations for you, Pile 3. I feel like there's so many temptations for you, and it's like you're trying to just stay present with your routines. And that's the thing. It's like, even your routines are making you even more desirable because they're shaping you, right? They're shaping you into who you want to be seen as and who you want to become. And that is a very desirable person. Yeah. Trying to maintain your emotional edge. Like, you are a very emotionally stable person. Like, you've grown a lot through your journey, even though you've had your hardships. And I feel like you get a lot of guidance from your team, from source, from synchronicities, from, you know, even just your own self, your gut feeling and your intuition, whatever it is that's leading you. But you've been through it. You've been through it a lot. And your spiritual journey has been transformative. And you're now really very sure about who you are. Again, with the sexual energy, with the Daughter of Wands here, your sexual energy is wild. It is wild. Like, it's the only thing that's really overshadowing this reading is your sexual energy. Yeah, it's like you have definitely not had an unsatisfied lover in your life. Like, that's for sure, Pile 3. And that's something that maybe that's gotten out. Maybe word of that has gotten out, and women are just curious, like, oh, what's it like to be with Pile 3? But I also feel like if word hasn't gotten out, it's just something that women are naturally considering when they see you, because it's something that's inherent to you. Like, you're okay. look, I'm not trying to be, how do I say this in a gentle way? You've got big D energy, okay? Like, I don't know how else to say that. I'm not going to curse on here, but if you know, you know. And if you don't, then that's not a message for you. But that's, you carry yourself like that, okay? Like that's, and that's something that women are naturally like, oh, hey, pile 3, like, what's going on there? Like, you know, it seems like that could be a lot of fun in the bedroom. And I feel like that's actually ended up getting you hurt. You know, and the three of swords, like this image is what's drawing me to the hurt and the heartbreak, even though that does go in line with the Rider-Waite-Smith. But I read Tarot Marseille, and the Tarot Marseille, the 3 of swords is about spiritual intervention. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. Is spiritual intervention is trying to keep you steady on a path filled with routine and predictability, like a lot of predictability, because in the past you've had a lot of unpredictable situations. And even though you might carry yourself like you've got big D energy, and that does not matter if you're a woman, a man, or non-binary, none of that matters. It's just that's the energy you carry about you. And I feel like that's gotten you in trouble, and it's broken your heart in a lot of situations, maybe because you got together with certain women who use that against you, and they had their own agenda here. And so but there's something about your sexual prowess that's really coming in here. Like, you know, what is it for guys? Is it a Don Juan for guys, I guess? And for women it's the femme fatale. But you know, like, it's not, I don't feel like that's the energy that you ever wanted to give off. It's just something like that. It's like, if women are going to throw themselves at your feet at some point in your life, pile 3, especially with the South Node, I feel like you were like, cool. Like, why not? If they're just going to throw themselves at my feet, why not have fun while they're doing it? And I feel like it became something that was incredibly boring to you. And it's like something that was just kind of like, okay. You know, like, oh, here's another one. Like, it was just like no one really caught your interest the way that you had hoped that they would. But then maybe there was someone who did, but then they were very manipulative of you, and they were very controlling, or they, you know, really broke your heart. And I feel like you learned a lot about that. And so I do feel like a lot of the wisdom that you share has to do with things along those lines. Like, you're telling people, like, don't just be stuck on the physical. Don't just be stuck on finding love for the sake of finding love. You know, there's so much more to having a connected relationship than these things that what people are chasing. And that's what makes you so desirable. And that's why women are secretly attracted to you, is because you're talking about things that like, I feel like you identify with the masculine for sure. And even if you don't, like, I do feel like you're very secure in your masculine energy. And that, as coming from a masculine side, no matter what your gender is, but coming from the masculine side, that's something that is very rarely talked about, because it's highly rewarded for guys or for masculines to have multiple partners and to spread their seed everywhere and to connect with as many people as possible. I feel like for you, like, that's something that you experienced firsthand, and you also experienced the bitterness and the emptiness that came with that. And so through that, you've learned how to come from a more emotionally stable place that's saying, you know, let's focus more on the spiritual connection. And that's something that feels unobtainable to a lot of the women that you know that you've connected with, because they're still stuck on the side effects of the physical rather than the freedom of the spiritual. And for you, it's about having a spiritual, emotional connection with people. And I feel like for you, because you know that the physical is something that's very easy to obtain. And I know there's a lot of people who might argue with that, but for you, pile 3, that's what it feels like. That's just, it feels like that was a very simple road for you to follow. And it led to a lot of disasters. And it led to, but it also equally so, it led you to shining a light on what mattered most for you. You know, you see the crescent moon here on both the horse and on this card, right? It led you to discovering something about your emotional self. And it led you to finding out how to let those emotions become the stability in your life, rather than being an empty void or being a pit of nothingness. You've gripped onto those emotions and allowed them to be a guidance system for you, where now you're very grounded. You could also wear a gold chain, like something about like a gold chain, or like a chain with a cross on it. I'm also getting like a chain with a diamond, some kind of diamonds on it. So the chain could have diamonds, or it could have like a charm on it that has diamonds, that women find so attractive too. So I just feel like you're also kind of like a bad boy, like you give bad boy vibes, okay? And that doesn't, again, like if you're a woman on here, whatever you are, it's like you give off those bad boy, bad girl vibes. Like that's something that comes through. Why are women secretly attracted to you? Pile number 3. Yeah, okay. So we've got the moon in Leo that flipped over here with appreciation. Yeah, isn't this interesting? You have the woman on this card who's singing like this serenade. She's like serenading somebody. Appreciation, it's like they appreciate you. And so I feel like there's a lot of women who still to this day, like they may tell you that they love you. They may tell you that they really like you, or like, you know how in animes, like they always take them out behind the school building, and they're like, I got a crush on you. And they're so embarrassed to say it. But I feel like you've had that happen so much in your life. And you're like, why? Why do people do that? Well, the main thing, it's your sexual energy. It's what, and again, whether or not you're trying to, it's just something that naturally happens. Like it's just your sexual energy is very massive, and that's fine. But also I feel like it's because you're now in this place of understanding who you are on a deeper level, beyond just being an object of sexual satisfaction. But it's like women appreciate your energy, and they appreciate your viewpoint, and they want to be part of that, and they want to grow with you in regards to that. But again, it feels like it's still sometimes the same thing. Like it's very boring to you, or it's very monotonous, because it's just a different side. It's like, okay, if it's not just my sex, then it's just my spirituality. Like I still don't feel like they're seeing me yet. And I feel like for you, pile 3, there's someone that's going to be coming that they're gonna surprise you. They're really gonna surprise you. Yeah, we have Mars and Virgo with criticism. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I feel like you're actually like, you're very critical of the people that come into your life, not in a terrible way. It's become discerning, but I feel like your criticism at one point was very harsh. And this sounds so weird, but it's also something that women were highly attracted to at some point in your life. Like this feels like some past energy that's still like lingering. Like you're like, like you could have been really rude to some women. Like, why the heck are you telling me these things? Like, why are you bothering me? And they still wouldn't leave you alone. Look, I'm going to say it's the same thing with guys too. Guys will do that too. Like you tell them, I don't want anything to do with you. And they won't stop. It's like they want what they can't have. And that's what it is. It's like you made it very clear that you were not going to be in their life like that. And so it was like, oh, how can I change myself so that I can be who you want? Right? And I feel like that's like you were very critical of people at some point, but now it's like you're spiritually discerning. Yeah, Cancer, nurture, comfort, and protection. You also are very like guarded with this Cancer energy. You could have Cancer highly aspect in your chart as well. Like Cancer moon especially is coming through here. There's something about where you're at in your life right now where it's more about building family, connection, and depth than something that is superficial, and you're seeing all the superficiality at play. Like you're seeing people wearing it on their face. You're seeing them wear it as they're approaching you, and I honestly feel like you're very irritated, pile 3. Like that energy is coming in very clearly, like this irritation, like, oh, why can't people just be genuine? Why can't they just, be true to themselves? Why can't they be authentic? And it's unfortunate, but you're like a flame that's burning so bright, and all the moths in the world are attracted to you, pile 3, and some are good and some are not so good, Yeah, cat spirit, claim your independence. And I feel like that's where you're at right now, is just in this place of independence, also listening to your intuition. That's what I feel like, that's that spiritual discernment. It's like the more you grow spiritually, the more you're desired by a lot of different women, and they're very attracted to that spiritual growth. But I also feel like there's a lot of women here who still have been captivated by your sexual energy, and that's what they want the most. They want to experience that freedom, hoping that you're going to take them to that spiritual side. But that's not your job. And I hope you know that, pile 3. Like, I hope you realize that. Yeah, embrace the in-between. You're in this place of just being, like, it just feels like limbo right now for you. Like, it's like, who am I? Am I transforming? Am I not gonna have somebody in my life like that? What's really happening right now? And it's Source is just saying, like, embrace this time right now and check in with yourself regularly, pile 3, because you've already been through a lot and you've dealt with a lot of people. And, you know, regardless of whatever your number is, whatever your count is in life, right? This is your rebirth right now. So that's not ever going to matter again, because you're literally letting go of connections from the past that were weighing heavily on your soul and on your psyche as well. Bully. Yeah. Oh, this is so funny because this feels like that Virgo energy that we got with the criticism. Like, I feel like at some point you might have been a bully to people. Like, just like, no, ew, I don't want you in my life, or like, get out of here. Or you were very critical about the way like women looked. Like, you had to have a certain type, and you're realizing like that type comes with a very clear pattern that you don't want in your life anymore. So we have the bully here with the light attributes. This highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you, and the shadows conceals deep fears behind the verbal or physical abuse. So, you know, I feel like that's what's coming in. Or the other thing is that maybe you were really bullied by women, and that's something that you had to deal with growing up. Like, you could have been, what is it, the nerd that turned into the desired person, or you could have been the one that, you know, was feeling like everyone had a type and you weren't their type, and now suddenly you're everyone's type. But there's something here that's, and again, I feel like I was saying, I feel like sex has always been something that's been easy. It's been easily offered to you along the way. And that's just a really interesting energy, because we've got both bully and the criticism cards on the bottom of the deck over there. So we have Milky Way with perspective. Yeah, it's the way you view life now. Like, you see it more as this emotional support system rather than just the physical, whatever the physical was bringing you, right? Like, it's more about seeing it from the spiritual side and sharing that with others. You know, wouldn't surprise me if someone here was like a sex addict and had recovered from that and found something deeper within themselves, and something that was more grounded in truth and authenticity for self, that's what you're sharing with others, right? We have Lotus Flower with unfoldment. Yeah, you definitely have suffered through something here, something very difficult, something very overwhelming. You know, and the lotus flower only grows from the mud. Like, it goes and it has to rise up through the mud, and then it rises up through the water. It's getting cleansed by the water as it rises up to the surface, where it finally unfolds on the surface. And it's like, that's kind of been your journey, where it's like you had to go through all this difficult, cloudy, mucky, yucky stuff and be cleansed by that. And now you're reaching the surface and unfolding and beginning to understand a deeper sense of self. And that's why women are so attracted to you as well. It's like, because they're recognizing that. So I feel like they're very attracted to your sense of spiritual connection, your sense of self. Mercury, but how you communicate things. You got 2 cards here. We have Mercury with dive into the details. Yeah, it's the way you share like the things that you've experienced along your journey. It's the way you talk about what it is, the wisdom that you've learned along the way. Gemini, again, didn't I say like heavy Gemini placements here? We have change your mind. I feel like that's the other thing too, is because you change your mind on what it was that mattered to you, the types of connections that have mattered to you. So it's like maybe a lot of these women that are very attracted to you now are still women from the past, women who, you know, thought like once your heart got broken that you would be easy pickings, because maybe that's the energy that you were always in and you're not anymore. You're giving off this energy of being off limits, and that's just making you more desirable. Virgo, tons of Mercury energy here. Tidy up your life, and that's exactly what you're doing. You know, Virgo's represented by the Virgin, and that's what I'm saying, like, this is like a virgin touched for the very first time. So I feel like this is like a spiritual sexual rebirth for you, pile 3, and that's what Source is talking about here. It's like women are attracted to you in general. Like they are very attracted to you, and they like you, and I feel like that's the thing. It's like right now you're healing from something that, and if you see here, the Virgo symbols right over the sacral chakra, which is our sexual expression. And that's something that you're healing from right now, is something that really weighed you down sexually. Okay. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing the root, the solar, or the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakras here with these energies coming down. It's like the more physical, material chakras that are getting realigned right now. So feeling like you belong. And I feel like sex may have been the one thing that made you feel like you belong, which is understandable. That's why a lot of people have sexual encounters, is so they feel like they're needed, they're wanted, and that they belong. But we already belong. Like, we already belong without having a sexual encounter and taking care of ourselves. But if we don't feel that way internally, it's hard for us to feel that way at all, right? So we get that from an outside source. Yes, this is definitely sacral chakra healing. We have change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And that's the thing, like, you're the one that's changed here. On the bottom, look at, I cannot make this up. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So again, representing the horses, and the horses to me represent freedom. Like, you're the stallion that no one can have now, right? Like before, maybe you were fenced in the yard and you were tamed, but you finally got free, and now you're untamable and you're unobtainable. And that is why women are secretly attracted to you. Scorpio, mysterious. We have intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. Yeah, the rebirth. Very clear, this rebirth energy. You're the one that's changing, pile 3. And you're changing for yourself, and that's so powerful. And it's like, you know, like, I'm not here to judge you based on what you've done. Like, it's not my place, right? Like, everybody has their stories, and the way I see it is that we all made the decisions we made based on the information we had in that moment, and that was the right thing for us at that time. It doesn't mean it's the right thing for us for forever. It just means we did what we thought was best for us in that moment, and that's enough. But accepting that for ourselves is the only way for us to heal from the burden of guilt and shame that we might be feeling based on our prior decisions. All of us have that. Right? The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly. But it's just about experiencing life, and I feel like you've done just that. But it is a very intense cycle for you, and I feel like cutting yourself off. But we also have Scorpio, which is sexual energy as well. Like, they're ruled by sexual energy, right? That very aggressive sexual energy as well. Something that people will covet, something that people will obsess over, something that people will try to keep trapped for themselves. And so that could have been why you got your heart broken as well, or why you went through something really difficult, is because it just was a connection based on the physical and nothing more. And regardless if you're a man or a woman, non-binary, transgender, whatever it is, regardless, you're human with feelings too. And you deserve to be seen and loved and appreciated as a human being that you are. Right? You are not an object, and you were never an object, and you didn't deserve to be treated as an object, whether that was for sexual gain or material gain or whatever, status, anything like that. You were never deserving of being treated that way. And I feel like Source just wants to remind you of that here with this reading. that you are a very, very attractive person. You're a very desirable person. But also that not everybody who is attracted to us or desiring us is worthy of our attention. And I feel like that's what you've been learning, right? With the change your mind and the change card here. That's what you've been learning. Engineer. Yeah, you could be incredibly smart too. And that's something that they find very attractive. We have ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And the shadow is reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. Yeah, so that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people never took into account your emotional self. And that could be because you might have run away from your emotional self for a long time, especially to the men out there. You were running away from feeling into your emotions, or like feeling like you even had a right to feel because you're a man. Like, it's so looked down upon. That's just such a weird societal construct that we have, that men aren't allowed to feel. But the last time I checked, a man is a human too, who has all the same emotions that a woman will have. And why a man is not allowed to feel his emotions, like, I'll never understand that. And so for you to have to go through that transformation after having been dealt a bad blow, right, where people weren't taking your emotions into consideration, or maybe they just thought, well, that's just the way pile 3 is. Pile 3 is never going to care that much about it. But all of that did was weigh on your shoulders all the time. And so it's like, you're still very attractive. You're still very desirable. But I feel like the thing that Source wanted to focus on with your reading, pile 3, is that you're the one that's shifting now. And the people or the woman that you choose to let into your life moving forward is going to be a woman that's aligned with you. And that's a decision that you're going to have to make based on the growth that you've gone through. Okay, so let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. I believe this is a crown chakra card based on the color. The aura chakra, the gift of dance. Interesting. Freedom. Dancing is a symbol of freedom too. Number 31. 33, 31. A calling for you to dance. It says, what do the following mean to you, and what do they conjure? Do you have any aversions or stories that you are attached to? Does this inspire you or excite you? Do you need permission to dance? It says there are no right or wrong answers to these questions. This is simply an opportunity to see yourself and to understand what you are projecting. Spontaneous dancing may be overlooked in our busy lives because, as creatures of habit, we may not be in the habit of going with the flow of the universal energy. The work-slave mentality doesn't make space for breaking into a dance or song. Fortunately, this oracle is a sign that your heart is growing stronger and the ability to resist laughing, dancing, and singing is weakening. It says make dancing a habit and get your body moving in unusual ways every day. And dancing directly, it's interesting that this is an aura card, but dancing directly connects to the sacral chakra. It says this will to break patterns in the mind and liberate any energy that may be stuck in the body, especially in the lower chakras. We talked about that, the more material chakras. So get those hips and that booty moving and shaking. Dancing freely also works to clear your aura. Wow, if I can turn the page here. It says your aura aligning you with the present moment where all conscious energy exists, including energy for your evolution. Dance with the elements, dance on the earth with bare feet, dance in the rain, dance in the sun, dance at the top of the mountains, in the mist and the clouds, and touch the heaven with your heart. Dance all the way through your amazing transitions. Dance lightly, don't worry about anything, and don't let anyone stop you from dancing with joy. When you are willing to dance forever, you have entered the stream of the soul. Yeah, so what a powerful message with the gift of dance. It's reconnecting with both your aura and your sacral chakra, giving you the freedom of expression as well, but also to help move stagnant emotions that have maybe been trapped, considering we got the South Node. So while we did have messages as to why women are secretly attracted to you, I feel like for you, Pile 3, Source needed to get you a message. It was a message to remind you that you are not an object. No matter how people have treated you in the past or what they've put you through, like, you're not an object. You are a human being with real heart, with feelings, and you deserve to be treated with love. And that is something that Source wants to bring into your life, and that's what you're healing from right now. So you're doing a good job, and I hope that you admire and respect and celebrate yourself, Pile 3, because you deserve that. Okay, so this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little dancing emoji down below and say, I choose to move out the old stagnant emotions and trust that my next partner is going to see the soul of who I am. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel Source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very strong message today. And until next time, Pile number 3, stay human. Bye.